So today, I've spent a lot of my time this last week thinking about community, thinking about what that means, thinking about where we go, how we do that, and what it means not just to us in a community, but to the world. And every time I thought about community, it almost was like the rings in a pond when you throw a stone in. It just started to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and each ring kind of went into another ring and another ring, and until in my awareness it was community within community within community within community. So we have and are a part of a community here. There, everybody here may be part of another type of community, whether it be religious, whether it be educational, whether it be neighborhood. Within our state is a community. Our country is a community. The world is a community. So we always have within those rings where we place ourselves in that spot. And the thing that I was really looking at within community was, what is our responsibility? Whether we're in ISC community, whether we're in our neighborhood, whether we're in our state or country or world, what is our responsibility as a community member? And I had to look at it from a perspective of where each individual person is in their journey. Because sometimes we come into a new community for healing, because where we are in our world, in our life, in our path, is not exactly where we want to be. And sometimes when that healing takes place, hopefully, then people move on to a different community because it's something else they need or seek or desire. And so within a community, we have people in any given moment of time who need support, and in any moment of time can give support. And it's, to me, a really lovely thought about the circle of life, in not living and dying circle of life, but in how can we as a community work with each other, help each other, live with each other. Not that we're living with each other, but we do on Sundays. How does our community of our world work? Where does that community break down, and where does it strengthen? In any community, the word unity is there. So unity doesn't mean everybody walks the same or talks the same or is a robot or a clone of somebody else. That can't be. That's not our world. That's not how we live. That's not, I hope, how we want to live. Because we're each an individual being, an individual soul, an individual that sometimes has it all together, and other times, I'll speak for myself, absolutely doesn't. So in these moments of unity, what do we do? How do we act? How do we give? How do we receive? Because it's all part of it. As an individual within a bigger group, it's very easy if you have one person in your community and that person is you. Makes it very easy, doesn't it? Because you can decide what you want to do. You can decide if it's right or wrong. You can leave that community whenever you want to and, find something else. But when you're part of a group, it's different. It's finding and helping. It's looking at individuals, finding and helping their strengths and weaknesses. But it's also asking. It's also having the ability to say, I need help. I need some of that. I want some of that. Please help me. And in a balanced community, that's what goes on. That is the cycle and the circle of life, the circle and life of community. And where I have found communities break down is when ego becomes the more important thing. whether it be a community of, a group that meets for Mahjong, whether it's a group that reads for, meets as a book club, whether it's a church, whether it's a center, whether it's a world. What happens when ego steps in and ego is all that is seen, then we become unbalanced, and that circle of give and take, receive and love breaks down. So what is our responsibility of community? I would look at it, and again, my opinion only, I would look at it and say we're all responsible for ourselves, and we're responsible for others within that community. Not to make their choices, because we can't do that. We can't make other people's choices for them. But to be there when they're not sure of their choice. To perhaps give a hug. Eleanor's great at that. Perhaps give a word. Perhaps give an encouragement. Or perhaps just sit and listen. I read something not too long ago and I said, oh yeah, I think I do that too. Because it said we've become a society that listens to react. So we listen to make sure what is the next thing that's going to come out of our mouth, rather than just to listen. So in community, if we can listen for somebody else in that moment of time, isn't that a wonderful gift? And hopefully one time that person or that group can listen to you when you need something like that. So I feel, again, with that word unity in community. It's not robots. It's not clones. Like I said before, we have to celebrate everybody's uniqueness, everybody's faults, everybody's hopes and dreams. And if you come in one day to a community and you're like, can't do it, good. Then you say to somebody, can you listen to me for a minute? Can I talk to you for a minute? Can you help me? That to me is healthy, because we're all not good 100% of the time. And I think if you find, occasionally I'll find somebody in my travels, especially with spirituality, it seems to be. And it's like, oh, I'm great all the time. And then I think myself, oh, then what's wrong with me? Because I'm not great all the time. But I had to come to the realization that sometimes people have to say they're great, because if they don't, the dam is going to break. And they don't know how then to control that. So if we're great, great, absolutely. If we're on a day that we're a little shaky, or we're not sure of where that wall, that dam is that we've built up, then community can be an absolutely beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful thing. And again, it's not we can do it all every single day. It's where can we do something every single day. Is it a smile to somebody? Maybe it's just that. How many people have ever walked down the street and you get a smile from somebody you don't know, and your first response is, oh, what's going on here? Like, who's this? Like, do they have a knife? Do they have a gun? What's going on? Because they smiled. But think about just that little bit of effort that person put in for your day, just in that moment of time. Somebody holding a door. Thank goodness most people still hold the door for the person behind them. But I've been behind people and all of a sudden the door just slams. Like, come on, and so holding a door, saying good morning, saying I hope you're okay, saying anything from an action from your point to somebody else, and then perhaps a reaction from them that's positive. What can we do each and every day that takes no time at all, a second, a half a second, 3 seconds, that we can bring to somebody a good thought, Doesn't take a lot. And I know there's times in our lives that we can't do that because of everything going on for us or at the time. That's fine. If you can't do it, you can't do it in that moment of time. But maybe 5 minutes from then you can. Maybe the next day, the next week, the next month. And that to me is another, what goes around comes around, circle of life. Because if you can be that light for somebody else in a moment, they can continue that light somewhere else. So community is not meant to inhibit people. Community is not meant to feel bad. Community is not meant for the ego to come in and to override everything. That's not community. That becomes a cult. A community is different. It's like the ocean with the ebb and the flow. It moves all the time, sometimes rougher and sometimes smoother, but it's there. It can be different, but what it takes is everybody making that difference for yourself first and then for others. So I love our community here at ISC. I love our community because what I see so many times are people reaching out to other people to say, are you okay? You walk into the center, and if Eleanor is here, you get the biggest hug and back massage, which is a plus, that you'd ever get. When you see people walking in, you get smiles, you get hugs, you get hellos, and you get people who are generally and genuinely concerned about each other. And even people on our Zoom people who may not be here in person, I hope that you feel part of that community also, because you are. You are also part of this ISC community. So whether you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, if you belong to 25 different communities, 100 different communities, or one, what do you bring to that from your healed self so someone else can heal?